So I'm working on a brand new book, and this book is my first solo book about love. It's all encompassing. It's about how to attract love, a healthy love, and also how to build it, right? How to keep it sustainable, how to keep the plane in the air. And I'm writing a part. This is early on. It's about the our definitions and how we pull from our definitions. So it doesn't matter if we're talking about love or work, career, friendship. It doesn't matter what the topic is. We pull from our definitions, right? And our definitions are formed from so many factors: childhood, from parents, definitions that have been passed down, from friends, society, media, advertising. But what's important is if we are not checking in with ourselves and redefining as we change our definitions, there's a high possibility that we are tracing other people's definitions, right? And other people can also mean your old self, because we are evolving, growing creatures. If we are not reevaluating our definitions, if we're not doing a definition audit, it doesn't have to be once a year. But many people, we just kind of run on autopilot, subconsciously or consciously tracing old definitions that don't belong to us, that are not honest to us anymore. And love is one of the categories where if you're tracing a definition that isn't honest to you, then you're going to create a love that isn't honest to you, you know? And so I wanted to give you my old definition of love and then give you my new definition of love, and you can see the difference, right? So when I was in my 20s, my definition of love was the lightning in the bottle, the picket fence. Love meant give everything, including your life. And I think part of this comes from growing up Korean, where the family structure was, you know, we came to America together. We basically, we're going to survive together or die together, right? We're in it together. Family meant everything, and so I think because of that, it bled into my definition of love. So if you go down, I go down with you, and vice versa. Love meant losing yourself in the other. Remember how good it felt just to lose yourself? Especially in high school when you didn't have a sense of self. So losing yourself in someone else gave you a sense of self. It gave you identity and a lot of chemicals in your brain. Love meant fixing people. Love meant ownership. Love meant sex every day and drowning in one single tub filled with bubbles and big dreams. Love meant I always come first, as you do with me. Love meant we don't need friends, they are extra. Love meant we fulfill each other's every single need, or die trying. Love meant forever. So that was my definition of love in the 20s, right? And I think formed by media, formed by posters, formed by, you know, what I saw, what I felt. And listen, that definition I think is juicy and romantic, and you know, the whole basically love is life or death. You know, can't live without you. That whole thing. Yeah, it's sexy, and I think when we're young, we're meant to experience love that way. You know, it's like we need to fall. And if in our 20s our definition of love is super healthy, there is no fall. And it's usually the fall that becomes the growth. It sets us up for a growth journey, you know. The fall is what creates the call to adventure, you know. And then we go and on the self-discovery journey and learning about self, and then of course reevaluating our definitions. Anyway, that was my definition in my 20s. So imagine with that definition how I showed up in relationships and what the action of love looked like, right? My current definition of love, and I say current instead of new, because part of my new definition of love is that it's ever changing as I change. It's formless. It's its own living, breathing thing. And if you believe that your definition of love is dried cement, then love will begin to die. Simply put, my current definition of love is everything that happens after the fall. I mean, falling into love, the natural high we get from the collision, the stripping of layers, discovering a different connection, new beliefs and bodies, the dance, the banter, the highs we hit from this process. That is not love. That is infatuation, a crush, stirring. It is real, and also it is something to be cherished and bathed in. I mean, when we collide with someone new, there's no need to judge that or to say that that is less than. I think that's part of the process. And even if it is sugar, it's amazing. It's part of life. It is nectar, So I don't want to judge that, but I don't think that is love. I think that is the first domino. Love is the falling of many dominoes. Love kicks in when you realize a person you chose to be with is not perfect, right? They leave their dirty socks on the floor and the toilet seat up. By the way, I have never left the toilet seat up. I think because it's become such a habit early on when I got married that that is not a thing with me. Anyway, who does? No one does, right? They are challenging, difficult, and reactive at times. There are things about them you didn't know. Not big things that will cause you to end the relationship. Maybe little things, but things you must accept about them because that's what love looks like in action. Love is not controlling nor possessive. That's a huge definition shift. There is no ownership in love. Many try to control, but disguise it in fancy wrapping. Love is accepting and creating space for the other to live their own journey. Love is championing each other's truth and story, even if it means it contradicts yours. And of course, you have a choice to love this person or not, right? But if you choose to love this person, their truth may not match yours. And I think love means to champion, support as best as you can without losing your sense of self and truth, your partner or partners, I don't know. This is extremely difficult because we hold on to our own ideas so tightly, right? So when there's resistance, we resort to using love to try to control someone. That is not love, that is control. Love should never be used to control someone. Love is walking side by side, not in front or behind. Love is patient. For me, this is the most difficult. To practice patience means to let go of time. And for many, projecting their time is the only way they know how to love, because it gives them a sense of control. They have defined love in that way. Again, this is not love. Love is letting go. Love is letting be. Love is understanding. Love is also challenging, draining, and can be destructive. Love is confusing. Love is addictive. Love is consuming. Love is disappointing. Love is quicksand. And love is also arguing and fighting and disagreeing. Love is white knuckle sometimes. Love is frustration. Love is rebuilding. Love is this is kind of extreme, debilitating. I can't even say the word. Can be. Love can also be distracting. Love can also be lopsided. But love is also looking at your defects and shortcomings. Love is not denying feelings. Love is looking inward. Love is a journey and a choice. And I believe today, simply put, my current definition of love, if I had to put it in one sentence, is that it is medicine. And so what I mean by that is I believe that love is our superpower but only if we are not using love to self-soothe and get something out of, but if we are using love as a mirror, as a way to look at what we need to work on and heal from, right? And I think that's when love becomes greater than its parts. I think that's where the magic of love truly exists, not just in the feel-goods. And I also don't want to minimize the feel-goods, because that's a part of love too. But this idea that love and relationships are used to heal each other, right? I also believe that we attract certain people into our lives because the collision is going to be a black light to whatever needs to be healed in you and the other person. This is why it's important for two people to be open and on a journey of seeing love in this way. And they don't have to exactly match, right, your definitions of love, of course. But if you both agree that love is bigger than you, greater than you, or greater than each other, and through loving each other, both will be more healed, and there will be revelations and discovery of self, right? If you both agree on that, and that's kind of, it's like when you have a child, and you and your partner may have, slightly different parenting styles, and you guys might put weight on different things. One may be a hammer, one may be a glove, I don't know. One may parent more like helicopter style, and one may parent more, what's the word? I forgot the technical term, but more hands off. But if you both agree on some of the foundations as far as parenting and what you want for this child, then you're kind of on the same page, right? You guys are moving in the same direction. And I think it's the same with love and relationships, where your definitions don't have to overlap exactly, but if you both agree that love is something that is greater than you, that love is non-possessive and non-controlling, and that love is formless, and it's a space created by two people that can heal each other. Like, if you just agree on that, it's so much easier to move in and through love and take some ownership and responsibility, right? Because you guys have this belief that is greater. If you don't believe that, if one person believes that and the other person doesn't at all, then I don't think love is sustainable. I mean, I think it'll be short-lived, because the feel-goods only feel good for so long until shit gets real. And when shit gets real, it's actually a good sign, because it means that the power of love is happening. Anyway, I will continue to document my journey, revelations, insight about love. Now listen, this is just one person with one story. I am one opinion. So this may not be your truth, but it is mine today. And the other thing is, it could change. My and it will, I'm sure. My definition of love, because think about it. The two definitions I just read you, my definition of love in my 20s into my definition of love today at 51, they're very different. And because we pull from our definitions, if this is my new definition, the way that I show up in my relationship today is going to be very different than the way that I used to show up in my relationship in my 20s, right? Of course. But it also proves that because we're always changing and growing and evolving, our definitions will change as well. So when I'm 60, my definition of love will again may be different, And I think that's very unsettling for people, because when you sign up to love someone, you want this kind of promise that things will be the same, or you want something to hold on to that doesn't fluctuate, right? And this idea of people changing in relationships can be terrifying, especially if you have abandonment issues or insecurities, or feel very out of control in your life, and you want at least your relationship to be the foundation that keeps you solid, and so any change in the relationship is going to create activation and discomfort. But if you don't look at self as evolving and growing, as well as your partner, and also friends, family, everyone you know, if you're not able to embrace that, and if you're only able to hold on to that so tightly, and usually with the people that we choose to love, our intimate partners are the people that we hold the tightest, right? Because they're probably the people that are closest to us and in our day to day. We could hold family a little looser, right? Because we don't see them that often. As we grow up, we start to draw some boundaries. They may not be in our every day-to-day life. But the people that we choose to love romantically, they are people that we see daily, and so it's natural for us to hold on to them tighter. It is also natural for that relationship to be the most activating. So to get on the same page about what love is and our definitions, and what we want love to be and how we want love to change us, those kind of foundational definitions, that's what's going to create the safe greenhouse, or what I call a container, for both of you guys to grow, and also for love to deepen. I don't think a deeper love means more sex. I don't think a deeper love means just more love experiences or more dopamine. I think a deeper love is created through a difficult love journey. I think there needs to be a story where people go somewhere and come back and slay some dragons for the love to deepen. I think it's like that with anything, and it's hard. It's hard. I think it's worth it and valuable, but because I don't want to just say that it's hard, because that can sound discouraging. I'm not anti-love. I'm very pro-love, but I'm just more realistic about what love is, because I feel like I have clearer lenses at 51 than in my 20s. But I also see something I didn't see in my 20s about love, and that is the beauty in it, right? Although a little bit of a cold shower on how difficult it is to build a healthy, sustainable love, the beauty of love, the power of love, the miracle of love, and I really think, obviously, one of our greatest superpowers as humans is to love each other and heal through love, right? Are there any other species that heal through love? I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe they have their own process. But we as humans have the gift of that. And the only way to do that is starting with a safe space and overlapping definitions of what love is and what you guys want out of this, Anyway, thank you for listening. Share if you care. What I mean by that is, if this resonated with you and you want to pass it along, it's the beauty of media today, is everything's shareable. Ask yourself a couple questions. One, this would be a great journaling topic. Write down, because I'm actually doing it myself in this book, write down your old definition of love. And then after writing that down, play out how that definition manifested or impacted the way you showed up in relationships, right? And that's one assignment. The other assignment is to write down your current definition of love, and then play out how pulling from that definition encourages you to show up in the way that you do now, today, and compare them. They will be wildly different. I think it's also important to know that we have grown and evolved. And a lot of times, because we are very hard on ourselves, we don't notice things. So this exercise can help you see the difference between who you were and how you loved based on your definition, and who you are today and how you are showing up in your relationship today. And by noticing that difference, I think there will be lots of hope. And I don't know if I want to use the word proud, but I think, you could be proud of yourself that you are growing and evolving and loving differently. Thank you for listening. Be well.